Our top story this morning, the continuing search for 8-month-old King Jay Davila. Police now believe the boy is dead.
Yeah, the boy's father, grandmother, and another family member all charged in connection with his disappearance. As of this morning, police have not found the baby. Charlie Cooper joins us now near the Davila family home with more. Charlie, good morning.
Good morning. Well, guys, we just received the arrest affidavit that let us know that 3 male witnesses are actually speaking to police. Their names aren't being identified at this time just yet, but we do know that they provided police with some helpful information clearly. And one of the witnesses, one of the 3 witnesses, told police that they actually overheard the father of this baby, Christopher Davila, speaking to his mother, which is the grandmother of the baby, saying that he had dropped the baby had fallen and hurt itself badly. Now that information is corroborated by the cousin of Christopher, Angie Torres, who actually spoke with police as well and told them that the grandmother told her that the baby was badly injured by Christopher, and so the 3 of them came together to cover this all up. Now police say Christopher's mother, Beatrice Sampo, dropped off the cousin Angie Torres at the gas station where she took off in the car and left the car there Friday. Torres later left the car near Rodriguez Park, and police believe King Jay Davila was never in the car to begin with, but still can't confirm where the baby was last seen. Christopher Davila was charged with child endangerment and later released out on bond, but police arrested him again last night. And his mother, as well as that cousin Angie Torres, face charges for tampering with evidence. Just last night, police actually checked a house on Parkside Drive, known to be one of the homes that the family owns. And just as police did so, they came out and said that they believe King Jay Davila is dead and that they are now searching for his body.
We will not be satisfied until we've located King Jay. Our focus will remain on finding him, and I will again tell anyone who has information that your time is running out.
Now, police say anyone withholding information could also face charges once they find those people. If there's anyone out there who knows information, please contact them immediately. And as for the mother of that child, well, she's still under investigation. Back to you.
Thank you, Charlie. We're hoping to